Hello, good morning, grade 7. So for this morning, we are going to deal with the topic we have for week 4, quarter 4, which is using appropriate graph to represent organized data. First, let's have this slide. Let's explore Makati City. So imagine that you are one of the commuters, the 500 commuters who were surveyed on their most visited malls in Makati City. And the results were as follows. Ayala Mall Circuit, 99. Century Mall, there are 48 commuters who usually go to Century Mall. Then 76 commuters for Glorieta. Greenbelt, 52. Landmark with 79 commuters. 55 commuters preferred Power Plant Mall. 29 commuters normally visit SM Jazz Mall. And for SM Makati, there were 62 commuters who visit this mall most of the time. Now, there are two questions which are provided. One, which one is the most visited mall? And two, which one is the least visited mall? So I know that you can easily answer this based on the data set that we have. But isn't it it's better or the questions can be answered easily if you have the data set presented in a more um, presentable manner or in a more organized manner wherein our attention will be easily caught by this. Okay, so these questions can also be addressed or can easily be answered if the data set is not presented using textual presentation. Meaning to say, we have the text um, here on the figures based on the result of the survey conducted. This can also be presented in an organized or in a more presentable manner that can be done through pie graph, line graph, or a bar graph. But the question is, why do we have to construct graphs? What are these for? Technically speaking, textual presentation is okay, but for you to catch the attention of your viewers or your viewers is for you to present it um, the more interesting approach into the more interesting approach, and that is using any of these graphs. Okay, as the lesson continues or as the lesson progresses, you'd be able to realize the reason behind constructing graphs, and also you'd be able to identify when is the pie graph best used, when is the line graph best used, or maybe when is the bar graph best used. It's not that when you just have or when you just choose to or when bar graph is your favorite, you'll just be using it most of the time. Okay, so I'll be showing to you the examples or the situations wherein these are best used. Okay, so let's start. The first one is a pie graph or a pie chart. Okay, this pie graph is a type of graph where data are displayed using a circular graph. So with this tells us that we are going to make use of a circle. Okay, a circular in shape. This pie graph shows the breakdown of a whole. This is the type of graph that is different from the two other graphs simply because aside from using a circular in shape, it also shows the part-whole relationship. So when you are referring to the part-whole relationship, or if you want to show the relationship between parts and the whole, you are going to make use of a pie graph. And when do we usually use this? For population, for budget, allocation, these are commonly used. But for any typical example, this could also be used. Okay? So, let's proceed. This is an example of a pie graph or a pie chart. But how do we make a pie chart? Okay? So we need a data set. So example 1 states that a survey was conducted among the customers of a Happy Milk Tea to determine their favorites among the 5 best-selling flavors. So imagine that I am the owner of the milk tea, and these are the 5 best-selling flavors, and I want to know which among them is the most favorite of from my customers. So, of the 60 customers asked or surveyed, 21 of them preferred or loved Belgian chocolate. 9 chose Okinawa cheesecake. 12 for salted caramel. 15 for Oreo cheesecake. And 3 for brown sugar special. So this data set will be used for us to be able to make the pie chart. But what do we need for the pie chart? As you can see, another column is added, which is labeled as percentage. So this is in terms of percent. Now, for the construction of pie chart, we need to know the percent equivalent of the different frequencies we have. But the question is, how do we solve for it? Let percentage be denoted by P. This is computed by dividing the number of customers by the total number of responses. So in this example, we have 60 as the total number of responses, and this quotient will be multiplied by 100. So for example, for Belgian Choco, we have 21 customers all over 60, which is for the total number of customers. Then it's to be multiplied by 100. 21 over 60 is 0.35. When you multiply it by 100, it's going to be 35%. So there you write 35%. If you continue, or if you will use the same process for the rest of the flavors, you will be arriving at 15% for Okinawa cheesecake, 20% for salted caramel, 25% for Oreo cheesecake, and 5% for brown sugar. A total of 100%. So these are the things that we need in order to construct our pie chart. So let's proceed. So there you have it. We have a circle and 2 protractors here. So we need the protractor for us to be able to plot the locations accordingly. So first, we need to mark the center of the circle. I'll mark it here. And then we determine the equivalent measure in terms of degrees for the angles. Okay, so this is the center, and we are going to deal with the Belgian Choco first. We work on the decimal equivalent. 35% is 0.35, and we multiply it by 360 degrees simply because a revolution is 360. 360 degrees multiplied by 0.35 is 126 degrees. So we look for that. So if we start from here, then we look for the 300 to 126 degrees somewhere here. So mark natin yan. So done tayo dyan. Sunod, Okinawa cheesecake is 15%. That's 0.15 multiplied by 360 degrees. That's 54 degrees. 126 plus 54 is 180. So mark ulit natin. And then 20% or 0.2 times 360 is 72. 180 plus 72 is 252. So we mark it. And then 252 added to 25% of 360 is 90. So pwede tayo dito mag-start sa 0. 5% na lang ng 360 is 18. So yan. Lapit sa 20. There you go. And then we remove the protractor, but we have to do it slowly but surely. So una natatanggal yung circle, no? Tanggalin natin yung protractor, balik natin yung circle. Okay, and then tingnan natin ulit para ma-double check kung tama naman. Ayan, tama naman. So to set aside this protractor, and this time we are going to connect the points to construct line segments. Okay, so to the center. So this one first, then the second point, then the third one, then the fourth, and then the fifth. This is just the manual way of doing the pie chart. So you now start with the labeling. We have the Belgian Choco, which is 35%. We have, let's use blue, Okinawa cheesecake, which is 15%. We have salted caramel, which is 20%. We have Oreo cheesecake, which is 25%. And last but not the least is, let's choose a different color. Let's say orange. We have the brown sugar special, which is 5%. So there you have the pie chart. This is the manual. Okay, so there you have it. So you have to compute for the percentage and use the protractor. There you can easily construct the pie chart. Okay, so this time around, I am going to teach you how to construct the pie chart using an Excel. So this is an alternative option. So the first thing that you do is to secure two columns in your Excel file. So the first column will just be about the different flavors we have in our data set: Belgian Choco, Okinawa, salted caramel Oreo cheesecake, and brown sugar. Then the next column will be the percentage equivalent of the different frequencies. For Belgian Choco, we have 35%, Okinawa 15%, salted caramel 20%, Oreo 25%, and brown sugar 5%. You have to double check that the percentage equivalent corresponds to the assigned milk tea flavor. So right after you have checked the entries, you are now ready to highlight them, starting with the first column of the first row, then second column. You click on the insert button. As you click on the insert button, lalabas ngayon to yung mga graphs. But what we are going to have at the moment will be the pie chart. So we have to select the 2D pie. So makikita nyo dyan, wala pang label siya, no? Pero meron tayong legends dito. Now, when you click on this, lalabas dyan yung data labels. So, lalabas na ngayon yung percentage ng different flavors. So, to double check, the yellow one from based on the logo, the legend is Oreo cheesecake. So, when we check in the table, is it 25%? The Oreo cheesecake. There you go. And then for the gray one, this is 20% for salted caramel. Tingnan natin sa table. Okay. So, once that we have double checked that, we just have to copy it. And then we paste it in our screen for this one, for our slide. So this time, we are going to answer these questions, okay? So right after we have this pie chart, of course, there are questions that will be provided. So the first one is, which milk tea flavor is the most favorite? Upon looking at the pie chart, you just have to look for the highest percentage. And the highest percentage goes for the dark blue one. The region is for the Belgian Choco. So our answer here will be Belgian Choco. Okay, then the second question would be, what percentage of the customers preferred salted caramel? Looking at the legend, this is the gray one, so the salted caramel is 20%. And the last one is, how much greater is the in percentage is Belgian Choco? Belgian Choco is 35% than the Oreo cheesecake. Oreo cheesecake is the yellow one, 25%. So their difference is 10%. So there you have it. Okay? Okay, so this time around, we are going to have the second type of graph, which is known as bar graph. A bar graph is a type of graph used in comparing data among different categories. Please bear in your mind that for bar graph, we now have categories as our keyword. If we are going to compare it with the circle graph or the pie chart deals with part-whole relationship, while this one is more of categories. We compare data among different categories. Okay, and how do bar graphs look like? We have the vertical and the horizontal bars, but most commonly forms of bar graph is the one using the vertical bars. So as you can see, we have, unlike in the circular or the pie chart, this time we have this horizontal and vertical axis. So these are the two different variables that we need to determine in our data set. So let's proceed. How do we construct a bar graph? Example 2. 200 students were surveyed on their preferred learning modality in this time of pandemic. Below is the result. 85 students preferred modular, 40 students preferred online, 55 students preferred blended, and 20 students preferred TV or radio broadcast instruction. And we need to construct a bar graph. So the two variables that we're going to deal with for the axis in our bar graph would be the learning modalities and the frequency. The learning modalities will be in our x-axis, the horizontal line, while the frequency will be in our y-axis, which is the vertical line. Okay? So I'll be teaching you the two ways, the manual and the use of Excel later. So the first one, we have the manual. So we have to secure that the horizontal line or the x-axis will be containing the different learning modalities. So these are the learning modalities, such as modular, online, blended, TV, or radio broadcast. Well, this one is for the frequency, okay, here. So, we first provide the graph or the bar for the modular, sabi dyan, 85, no? So, we have to draw 85. So, I use interval of 20. Another thing that you have to see to it is you make use of the same intervals. Okay. So, 85. So, gitna ng 80 and 100 is 90. So, hindi tayo aabot sa gitna. Closer tayo kay 80. So, there you have it. So, 85. Yan. Sunod, for online is 40. So, yung 40 naman natin sakto dito. 40 natin. Yan. Yan. And then for blended, 55. 55, gitna nila ay 50. So, malapit siya sa 60. Yan. And for TV and radio broadcast is 20. So, exactly 20 dito siya. Ayan. And then we just have to fill this with color. And there we have the bar graph for this entitled Education Amidst Pandemic, for the preferences of the students on the learning modalities in time of pandemic. So there you have it, the manual. So this time around, pakita naman natin yung sa Excel, no? Ayan. So sa Excel natin, we have this. So just like what we had in the what do you call that, in the pie chart. So sa ating paggamit ng Excel naman for the bar graph is we again type the modalities in the first column, then the second column will be the frequencies. So just like what we had there, we highlight these two, then we click on insert, pero this time around ang pipiliin natin ay yung bar graph. So 2 dimensions, ayan. So makita nyo siya dyan. So there you have this bar graph. And then it's up to you if you want to change the color, pero ako okay na ako dyan. And then you add access titles. So just to be sure, or just to be clear to everyone, that the horizontal axis contains the learning modalities. So we label this as learning modalities. And then for the vertical axis, we have to entitle it as frequencies. There you go. And then for the title, what we use, education amidst pandemic. And when you're done with that, you may now copy that and then you paste that in our slide. So there you have it. Yan. Okay, now that we have copied the bar graph that we have constructed using Excel, we are now ready to answer the question. So, lakihan lang natin ng konti yung ating graph para makita natin. Yan, kita natin. So, based on using the graph, we now answer the questions. The first question is, what is the most preferred learning modality? So, as you can see, towers yan, no? For the most preferred is the one with the tallest tower, and that would be modular. Hindi naman tinanong kung ilan, no? Pero tinanong lang ano daw yung most preferred learning modality. So we have modular. Then for the next one, how many students chose modular than online? So ipili natin yung modular at online. We get the difference. So modular is gitna siya ng 80-90. This is 85. Less online, this is 40. So the difference would be 45. 45 students chose modular than online modality. Okay, more. So the difference, we have to get the difference. So there you have it. Okay, so this time we are going to have the third graph, which is called line graph. A line graph is a type of graph used to represent changes in data over a period of time. So as you can see, ang keyword natin dyan yung changes in data. So kapag nagkaroon ng changes sa data, we are simply looking for the trend, no? The trend over a period of time. Ano-ano ba yung mga type of data set na nag-involve ng trend? Okay, mostly yung mga prices. Okay? Yun yung normally nagre-refer sa trend. Okay, that's where we can best use line graph. Okay? And how do we construct a line graph? Okay? So, ano yung mga need natin? So, balikan lang natin yung circle, no? Yung sa pie graph. Sa pie chart, kailangan ng percentage. And then sa bar graph, kailangan lang naman ng categories. Ito naman kasi, actually, bar graph and line graph, parang most of the time pwede siyang interchangeable, no? But when we refer to trends, normally, line graph yun, para makita mo yung changes. Okay? But when we just refer to categories, more of bar graph siya. So, again, we need a data set. But this time around, since we said na it is best used for the situations that calls for the prices, okay, or the sales, yung ganyan, amounts, okay, we have this data set. So, example 3, the table below shows the sales of face mask in Aling Nena Sari Sari store for 5 days. That's for May 24 to 28. Construct a line graph showing these sales for a week. So, on Monday, the store was able to sell 30 boxes of face masks, while on Tuesday, 25 boxes, Wednesday, 40 boxes, Thursday, 35 boxes, and Friday, 15 boxes. So, let's start with the manual way of constructing our line graph. So, kailangan din define yung x-axis natin dyan. Yun yung days natin of the week starting from Monday to Friday, excluding Saturday and Sunday. And then, for the vertical axis naman natin ay yung frequency, okay, or your number of boxes sold. So, we may refer to this as the number of boxes sold. Ito yung face mask, no? Ayan. So, on Monday, ilan daw? Copy na natin to. Sorry. Copy natin to sa kabila. Ilan daw ang nabenta ng Monday? So, sabi dyan, 30, no? So, 30. So, ito yung Monday natin, 30. So, tapatan lang natin yan. And then, Tuesday, 25. So, gitna siya ng 30 at 20. So, 25. And then, Wednesday ay 40. So, 40. Yan. And then, pagdating ng Thursday, 35 naman. So, gitna. And then, pagdating ng Friday, mababa ang benta nila. 15 na lang. Ayan. So, we just have to connect them. So, yung Monday to Tuesday first. And then, Tuesday to Wednesday. Wednesday to Thursday. And then, Thursday to Friday. There we have the line graph. So, kailangan natin i-title dyan. So, let's just label it as sales of face mask. So, sales of face masks at Aling, I think Aling Nena, sorry, store. Sorry, store. So, there you have it. Okay, so yan yung manual. This time, we proceed to the use of Excel. So, sa Excel, ulitin natin, kailangan natin ng data ulit. So, yung data na need natin ay yung days of the week at yung ilan yung nabenta. So, yung first column natin ay Monday to Friday, and then second column natin ay yung number of boxes sold. So, we just highlight this, and then click on insert again, but this time we look for the line graph. So, line, ito yung line natin. Ayan. So, yung 2D lang tayo, 2 dimension. So, there you have, angat natin yan. So, add natin to for the access titles. We have to write here, days of the week. And then here, as this one is the number of boxes sold. There you go. And then here, sales, sales of face mask at Aling Nena's Sari Store. There you have it. And then you just have to cut it. I mean, copy it. And then balik tayo dun sa ating menu. There you go. So with this already, we are going to answer the questions as follows. Which day has the highest sales? So yung pinakamataas natin ay Wednesday. And the second one is, how many more sales in Thursday than Tuesday? Ilan ba yung sales natin ng Thursday? 35 boxes. Sa Tuesday natin ay 25. So 10 yung difference nila. 10 boxes. And then, how many boxes of face masks were sold on Friday? Ilan daw yung nabenta ng Friday? Di 25. There you have it. So I do hope that you were able to get the steps or the process on how we manually construct the different kinds of graph and using Excel. Thank you and see you around.